So it's finally starting to boil. I'm going to reduce it back to 4 as it's boiling, and it's thickening as it's starting to boil. Thickening quite a bit once it starts to boil. You see there? I'm going to keep it on there though, so can you see in there from that angle? Not really. I should have done this a little bit differently. It's okay. Fairly thick there. And I'm going to add the rest of that liquid for this. Well, I could save that and make soup for my son, so maybe I won't. I was going to add it for the sake of using it up, but my son really likes making, when I make noodle soup for him, so I just boil some noodles in that and make a nice soup for him. So at this point, you want to add some salt and pepper. I don't know, what's that, about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. This is pepper that I ground in a pestle and mortar the other day. Put a fair bit in there. And you want to add other stuff too, whatever kind of flavoring you want to give to your sauce. Like normally I put thyme in, but I'm out. And that's a good thing anyway, because my wife doesn't like the thyme so much. Here's some homemade dried onion. I'll put in, I don't know, what's that, about a teaspoon. That's onion powder, not onion salt. There's no salt in that. It's just onion powder.
What are you making?
I am making calzones.
Oh.
This is sauce for them.
Smells good. What's in it?
Oh, just a little of this, a little of that. Don't bump the tripod, please. I'm going to taste that. Well, very porky. Very pork flavor, which is a good thing. Needs a little more salt.
These strings out. Can I open it with my finger?
Yeah. And we need a little more pepper. And I think I'm going to put more of that onion powder in there.
Small glasses in the dishwasher.
Alright, so this is going to be pretty good, I think. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. I might throw in, I'm going to dig up the summer savory and throw in a bit of that. I'll take that off the heat first. Alright, summer savory, I don't know, a teaspoon. And I've been digging this Hungarian paprika lately, so I'm just gonna, I don't know, shake some in there. That should do it. Turn that back on about 2, which is pretty low. And what I want to do now is get that meat in there. So this is where I'm going to switch away from the whisk, and I'll switch to this guy. Let's see, I'll just dump, whoops, careful there, buddy. Dump that in there. And I'm just going to maybe take that up to 3 or so and let this come up to temperature. And then once it's up to temperature, I will taste it and see. And basically, that's going to be the filling for my calzones. And I'll probably grate some mozzarella cheese and stick it in the calzones too, but I don't put that in here. That's looking like a pretty good consistency at this point. Once that's mixed in and heated up to temperature, like I say, I'll give it the taste test. Whoops, what's that? It feels like I got a bone. Yep. Got a bone there. Oh no, that's not a bone. It's just a really big piece of meat, that's all. Okay. I'll break that up. So I'm just going to let that come up to temperature now, and then taste it afterwards to see if it needs a little more of this, a little more of that, because the meat's going to absorb some of the spices and stuff that we put in there. So we'll get back to you in a few minutes once that's up to temperature. So here we are. We have some dough, whole wheat dough that I made a couple of days ago. I've had it in the fridge since then in this container. Some grated matzah. There's my pot with my filling in it. I've got I like it fairly bland actually, to let the flavor of the meat come through. So it's the way I like it. You can mix up whatever you want. I forgot to mention, instead of that sauce, the roux sauce, what you can do is just take pieces of meat and mix it together with your favorite spaghetti sauce or pasta sauce, whatever, and use that. Some people like a tomato-based calzone, which is probably more traditional. I do it both ways. This way I want it to do this. Got some flour for rolling out. I got this thin little cutting board down for rolling them out, just so that I don't get my countertop mucked up. My rolling pin. I've got a baking tray with some corn, whatever that's called on it, the granular type corn. And I got my little calzone maker. It's a fairly small calzone it's going to make. So basically, all you do is take some flour, take, for that size of a calzone maker, you want about that big of a ball, and just roll it out, and then once it's rolled, flip it a few times, I find, in the flour. Get that out of the way for the moment. A little bit of a tight space here, but I've worked in tighter. So just trying to keep it round is beneficial, but you don't gotta get too crazy, because the thing there is going to make it round. So you, roll it out as best you can. Let's see. That's you want it to be a little bit bigger than your calzone maker, which it is at the moment. So I can just put that down, put the dough in there. Now I want to. Now this stuff, when you do it with canned meat, it shreds the meat up pretty badly, so you don't really have chunks of meat. When you do it with, if you did it with your own stewing beef or something like that, then you would have chunks of meat. But when you do it with canned meat like I'm doing it, it tends to shred it, and so it's not chunky at all. So, and then we get some cheese in there, like that. And hold on, this time around I'm going to try something that I don't think I've done before, is help these things seal by putting some water around the edge here. And we'll just do that. And basically, I think we could use slightly more meat in there. That's my son making noises behind the camera. And if there's anything excess, you trim it around the side. Any dough hanging out, you trim it off with your finger. And basically...
Can I help with the next one?
Sure, you can help with the next one.
And
And
I want to
basically...
close the next one.
That's what you got. And you put it on your baking tray. The corn, the granuled corn there on the baking tray is to help keep it from sticking. You could use a Silpat sheet or something like that, or parchment paper. Same idea. And that's basically all you do. You do all of them from here on in, and you bake them at 350 for 20 minutes. I'll show you what that looks like. So there they are out of the oven. Like I said, 20 minutes at 350 Fahrenheit. As I explained in some of my other videos, if you want them to look better, you can brush them with egg white before you put them in the oven. I don't care to do that. It's just extra work, and it's really just cosmetics. My lot eat them as is. You can see this one has a fair bit of flour left on the outside. The brushing takes care of that, gives it a nicer color. This one popped itself open a little bit, that one as well. Not a big deal. They are ready to eat. They will be very yummy.